Hello, my name is Roma Piotrowska and I'm the Curatorial Officer at Wolverhampton Arts and Culture. I have been asked to talk a little bit about Phoebe Cummings' This Was Now exhibition that opened on the 7th of March 2020, roughly 2 weeks before the coronavirus outbreak here in the UK. So the exhibition unfortunately had to prematurely close, but we are still hoping to engage our visitors through online activities. Ross, who runs our Young People group, asked me a few questions and I'll try to respond to them as much as I can. So this is the first question. How did I approach the Phoebe Cummings exhibition? Whenever I work with an artist, I try to find out as much as possible about their practice. And to do that, I of course read as much as there is available. I try to watch as much as there is available in terms of video interviews. And lastly, I meet the artist, I go to their studio and discuss their practice with them. Ideally in their studio where I can see the work that they're working on and their sort of creative environment. So also on this occasion I did exactly that. So both Carol and I went to Phoebe's studio and her home, because she's got her studio at her home in Stafford, and we spent some time with Phoebe looking at her work and discussing ideas behind her work. We also discussed lots of practicalities connected to the ideas. So it was really productive morning that we spent together. If it's a solo exhibition, there is usually a large input from the artist in terms of the curation of the exhibition. So Phoebe had a clear idea what she wants out of the show. She was sure that she wanted to produce one sculpture. She also knew that she wanted to make this sculpture over the longer period of time. So she started 2 weeks before we opened, but for the opening day the sculpture wasn't finished. And the idea was that she would be coming back every 2 weeks to continue working on the work. The concept behind the exhibition was this evolving sculpture that doesn't have the beginning and end. And at the end of the exhibition, the sculpture itself was planned to be destroyed and the clay taken forward in her future works. So this is exactly what happened, except we had to close the exhibition prematurely for obvious reasons. So this idea came from the fact that in the same time we have another exhibition on display, Victoria and Albert, Our Lives in Watercolor. That exhibition is a touring show from the Royal Collection Trust and very much focuses on memories and how do we record our memories. The same sort of topic that Phoebe is interested in her project as well, because she is interested in how do we document the changing sculpture. So Phoebe had this clear vision that she wanted our visitors to be very much involved in the process of recording the changing sculpture. The visitors were invited to record their responses as writing or drawing. That's why we created a special space in the gallery, table with seats and some drawing materials. So that space was an integral part of the exhibition where people could sit down and reflect, spend some time looking at the sculpture, looking at the changing sculpture, and record their response. So we are also planning to produce an artist book that will consist of those responses, and that's going to be the legacy of the project. So the next question is about my role in the project and the key things I did in the lead up to the exhibition. So as I said before, I curated the exhibition very much in discussion with the artist. So Phoebe had a very clear idea what she wanted the space to be like. So for example, she wanted the sculpture to be in the certain place, certain location, and then she knew that she wanted to have this space for the public to work on the responses. She also wanted to have the wall of drawings and writings. Another element of the exhibition that Phoebe suggested was to display some objects from Wolverhampton Art Gallery's collection, namely 19th century pattern books and japanned-ware that she was inspired by when working on the sculpture. Japanned-ware was a European imitation of Asian lacquer work, and we've got quite a lot of those items in our collection, as well as pattern books that were made as inventories of patterns that later were used in the production of actual objects. Another aspect of the exhibition that Phoebe had in mind was to include some quotes within the exhibition space. So Phoebe chose a couple of quotes from literature, and we then produced them in vinyl. So my role as a curator was to accommodate those ideas that came from Phoebe and think about how those ideas can work within our particular exhibition space. So the last question I've got here is about the length of the exhibition and whether we're going to extend it. So yes, very much we are hoping to extend the exhibition so it can reopen after the crisis connected to the coronavirus finishes. As you can understand, the situation is very unpredictable at the moment, so we can't really say for sure, and we will be revising the situation day by day, week by week. But for now, we are hoping that you can still involved in the project by responding to the sculpture through the videos and photographs that are available on our social media platforms and on our website. And you can post your response on your social media, share it with us by using hashtag #ThisWasNow. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. So that's it from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. Bye now.